Hello, Blue M Substacker. Schuster here. How are you? I'm sure you're better than to mention Don. On Fox and Friends, Trump spoke about the Russia-Ukraine war and praised the European leaders whose nations are close by.
They are. They're very good people. They're very good leaders of their countries. And they want to get back to leading their country. You know, they're consumed far more with this than we are because they're right there. You know, we have an ocean that's separating us, right? Thing called an ocean, a big, beautiful ocean. And they don't.
Separating the U.S. and Russia is the Pacific Ocean. It's the world's largest ocean, the Pacific.
You know, we have an ocean that's separating us, right? Thing called an ocean, a big, beautiful ocean.
Donald Trump does have a solution for his failing memory: erase history. On True Social, Trump wrote, "The museums throughout Washington, but all over the country, are essentially the last remaining segment of woke. The Smithsonian is out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was." Slavery was bad. And by definition, a museum is a building in which objects of historical, scientific, artistic, or cultural interest are stored and exhibited. The Smithsonian National Museum of American History says the museum's world-class collections help tell the complex history of our nation. Some things remembered in the museum, like the invention of electricity, were good. Some things, like slavery, were bad. Speaking of bad, here's Trump on Washington, D.C.
We have slums here. We're getting rid of them. I know it's not politically correct. You'll say, oh, so terrible. No, we're getting rid of the slums.
Question to Caroline Levitt: what does Trump mean by slum?
First, when it comes to what you said, and the president said, the slums of Washington, D.C., he's referring to the most dangerous communities, neighborhoods, and streets in the city.
Okay, but even in those neighborhoods, the federal government's own data shows violent crime is at a 30-year low.
And I believe it was the Washington Post who put out a map claiming it to be fact-based when it was just based on, I don't know, accounts that they've heard on the street, not actual statistics and data. So we went and reconfigured the numbers. And as I said, nearly half of all the non-illegal alien-related arrests have occurred in wards 7 and 8 in the District of Columbia.
We, the Trump team, reconfigured the numbers. Finally, a moment of truthfulness from Caroline Levitt. We are cooking the books, baby, and if you don't like it, too bad. On Capitol Hill, Georgia Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene is now changing the definition of personhood, at least for a Democratic colleague.
Well, she's not a real person, so some interesting things that I've always observed about her is how she treats her staff.
According to Greene, the Democrat treats her staff badly. According to video, Greene treats nearly everybody badly.
What country are you
from? The UK.
Okay, we don't give a crap about your opinion and your reporting. Why don't you go back to your country where you have a major migrant problem?
Tell us about Jewish space lasers.
Why don't you go talk about Jewish space lasers, and really, why don't you off? How about that?
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Let's finish with Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. The audio here is the real thing.
I believe we had a very productive meeting. There were many, many points that we agreed on. Most of them, I would say, a couple of big ones that we haven't quite gotten there, but we've made some headway. So there's no deal until there's a deal. I will call up NATO in a little while. I will call up the various people that I think are appropriate, and I'll, of course, call up President Zelensky and tell him about today's meeting. It's ultimately up to them. They're going to have to agree with what Marco and Steve and some of the great people from the Trump administration who've come here, Scott and John Radcliffe. Thank you very much.
The eyes are hilarious. Remember, folks, keep laughing, keep smiling, and stay strong. Schuster out.